Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of DamianJMurray, Dare to Be Different. Thank y'all for tuning in and joining the community. We really appreciate it. Make sure you like, favorite, and subscribe. For those who don't know, my name is DamianJMurray and I'm from Columbus, Ohio, and I'm currently living in Gothenburg, Sweden. And so this is my channel basically broadcasting my day-to-day life here. So for this topic, I really wanted to talk about, does wealth bring happiness, right? Sweden is a very interesting place for me because it's a place that I want to say people in the US sometimes idolize in terms of like the core values of like, let's say like having equality and then also having access to services and healthcare and things of that nature. Me being from the US and then also having traveled other places, I know the US is very different than most places. It has access to certain things that other places just do not, while it also has its own problems. And for me, I'm an American through and through. And reason why I want to talk about does wealth lead to happiness is because we're currently in this kind of tough economic time, right? Over the past, I want to say year or so, there's been rapid layoffs. There have been people talking of a downturn, and then also others talking about how to adjust to this, right? Me being a single male, I have no debt. I'm currently living in Sweden. I see the things going on in the US and in other markets, like I've been hearing about in China. I'm realizing that like, hey, like this is a tough time for everybody, right? And the thing is, like one of the things that's really important to know and understand about the US is that like there's not a lot of social safety nets. And so if you do fail, and for lack of a better way to say this, you kind of do end up on the street, whether it be mentally, physically, or emotionally. And so one of the content creators I was watching a couple of days ago, she's a single mother and she has two kids, and she's talking about how she had to decrease her spending and also stop putting money into retirement so she can make ends meet, and that her job cannot cover her expenses, right? And it kind of struck me because I'm like, how much money does one need in order to have happiness and in order to feel stress-free, right? And here in Sweden, from what I know as of right now, there is a perspective of like having enough to basically take care of all your basic needs, be able to travel a little bit, and like you don't really need that much more. So it's a fairly simple life, right? But I know for some Americans, like they want more, they want more, they want more. Even I do. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I want more. But like, what does that really mean? And how does that affect other people when you choose to want to constantly pursue wealth, right? And I don't think wealth is inherently a bad thing. Obviously, as a US citizen myself, this is some things that I've heard about all the time, right? How do you build wealth? How do you invest? How do you do these things, right? But at the same time, our society is super expensive for like the basic necessities in terms of like medicine, healthcare, childcare, families, like all these things, right? And so it encourages us to work extremely hard and to try to maximize our time on this earth, which I think leads to further human output, right? Because if somebody has all their needs taken care of, like, and they're able to, pay for the things they need to pay for and they have money left over, that can also breed a lot of comfortability in their lifestyle, right? But like, what's wrong with that? One of the things that I find like so interesting here is like you always see older people, right, in Sweden. Just like if you are out during the day, you'll see them just sitting by the bench and just watching life, and like they're chilling. They're chilling, not a worry in their mind. And the reason is because they have a pension, right? They have a pension fund, and it basically takes care of them. So a lot of them are able to like just kind of relax in their old age, which I think is super nice, right? And not have to worry about that. But like in America and a lot of other places, that relaxation is just you don't get it, right? Because it's very hard to count on a government or any other entity to sustain your life. And one of the things I've been dealing with and confronting is my own personality. So as a very driven, self-motivated person who likes to have good economic outcomes, what does that economic outcome look like for me? And do I have a very weird relationship with money just based on my community that I grew up in and the way I grew up, right? Like, how do I confront that? And I don't think trying to acquire wealth is necessarily bad. I think it's what you do with the wealth and how you treat people is truly what matters. And I do wish, right, because the flip side of like having these huge swings of people being really rich and really poor is that you have a lot of people that end up being really poor, sometimes not because of their issues, but because of their circumstance, right? And I always said, like, I'd rather people have access to the right care and treatment and the support they need rather than not. But then the question becomes, as much as people in America or other places talk about wanting equality, it's almost like it comes at a cost, right? And are you willing to sacrifice for the next person over and realize, hey, they get paid the same amount as me or just as much as me, so they can still have the same quality as life as me? So that means the quality of life doesn't really change, right? Y'all all have it equal. But if you want a better quality of life and you want better things, your opportunity to attain that is super, not low, not impossible, but it makes it significantly harder. And I don't know, as an American, I could swallow that pill, right? And I don't know if others can swallow that pill. But that's like the reality of the situation. And so today, right, what I really want to get across and kind of in this story or in this feedback is really think about, what is your thought process around wealth building? Have you thought about like how much you need to sustain your life as an individual, but also if you want a family? Are times getting tough for you? What are you doing to lead the way for yourself and make sure that you're well taken care of? Are things getting too expensive? How do you budget? Because I do think there is a changing of the guard, right? And I am only 26, so I have not seen, outside of the pandemic, like a full-blown economic issue outside of childhood, given the 2007-2008 situation. So with that said, how can we continue to think about others while building wealth and treating people the right way? And so that's one of the other reasons why I'm glad to be here, right? Is because I get to like, one, report out like my actual real thoughts, but I also get to take the time to reflect on here. And one of those things has also led me to really understand that, hey, right, you have to embrace the differences in people's choices to live the life that they want to live, while also being very introspective about how you want to live moving forward. And so with that said, I hope you have enjoyed this episode, this monologue, if you will. Please make sure you like, favorite, and subscribe. Tell your friends and tell your friends. I really appreciate all the love and support as I continue on this journey. And yeah, so with that said, Damian is out.